will your car be better than Dave's?
Of course. Dave's gonna be crying looking for the 180 back.
Babe, no! Babe!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Game Changers. This car is essentially going to be going up to Motorsport 56, up to Bob Stevens and get wired, but as you can see, it's not really. So pretty much Wayne's putting the bare essentials into the car so it can be actually set up to go. So putting as much together as he can. Like this is by no means the best way to send up a car. Obviously you're supposed to send it up when it's done, but we don't have that luxury because time is running out and we only have 2 slots and we're kind of at the end of the first slot with Motorsport 56. So what are you putting in the car roughly?
As much as what we have here today, I want to put together.
Jeez. Wayne, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of what we're setting up to actually put the car back together. And then there's the engine over here. Ryan made up these engine mounts that I skillfully sprayed myself. So the subframe will be going into the car. Is that literally it? Can everything else get wired from that? Like the rear lights, obviously there's no rear bumper on it. Will the cable just be there ready for when they do go on? It's like we're doing a job 5 steps in front of when we should actually be doing the job.
Yeah, but we have to do something, Josh.
You and Dave ordered the parts. You ordered the stuff you needed first, last.
What was the first thing Dave ordered for this car when he got it?
A front lip.
I think we're a bit away from that, I think.
So Bob is going to be upgrading the valve train and putting a new cam in there. Obviously it's all inside so you can't see what's going on there. But his parts have been held up, so ideally he wanted to put all this into the engine first and then wire it up, but because the parts haven't come, there's no point in holding up the wiring because that hasn't come, so he's going to wire it up first and then take the engine out and do all the upgrades to that before it comes back to the shed. And then essentially if it's away for 2 to 4 weeks, then by that time all the other parts will have turned up hopefully, and then that car will literally be getting put together almost like a kit car. Everything should be bolt on, there should be no more modifying. The chassis is done, it's painted. So yeah, this is kind of before mapping and everything like that. That's the last big job that has to be outsourced.
I can't find bits.
What can't you find?
Clutch pedal.
He said it was by the sign.
What better way could you work at?
So we're going to let Wayne crack on with this stuff and then in the morning we shall take it down to Motorsport 56.
Sweep it off.
Where'd you scan your jacket?
I had to get rid of it. It was getting too many comments about it.
Is that better, Ryan, with your flat bolts now?
Oh, it's bad. Should have been even nicer then.
Do you say black bolts?
Yeah.
You're not even going to see those bolts as it is.
It doesn't matter. It's about the fine details that people don't see. That's what builds a car.
The fine details they don't see.
Yeah, that's what makes a car. That's why if you come to avoid the fabrication.
So there wasn't actually as much as what we thought, because essentially the majority of the stuff, which is the lights, the steering column, the fuel pumps, they're not actually hard fitted yet, so they're just going to kind of run the wires back and then roughly have the wire with enough slack so it can plug in for when the lights are actually there. But the engine's in, radiator slash oil cooler slash power steering fluid cooler is in, and we've also protected the cage with this to stop against scratch, because it's freshly painted and he's going to be in and out of the car, and we fear for Mike's reaction if it comes back scratch. So we've taped all this up. So in the morning we shall bring this down, and we also have a few more surprises later on in the day.
Hold that thought. We love our drift cars here at Drift Games, but we don't drive drift cars on the road, we drive sensible cars. And if we're in the market for a used car, we come here to Moorfield Motors. These guys have an amazing selection of everything from luxury cars to first-time buyers to commercials, which means they've always got something for me or for Mike.
Jeez, that's a lovely van.
So if you're in the market for an amazing used car, check out their full stock list online at moorfieldmotors.ie, and if they don't have it in stock, they can source it for you.
You excited?
Very excited.
Very excited about this road trip. So I've been on the road for approximately 2 minutes and I'm already bored, so I think we should get to know Wayne a little better and ask him 20 questions. What's your name?
Wayne.
What's your middle name?
Mark.
What's your favourite car?
Lamborghini. I'm never going to have.
What's your favourite drift car?
180.
Why did you get into drifting?
Maybe I was stupid one time.
How long have you been drifting?
A long time.
What's your best finish in a competition?
Ford.
What's your favourite engine?
SR. Has to be.
Who would win in a battle, you or Dave?
Me. Definitely.
Will your car be better than Dave's?
Of course. Dave's going to be crying looking for the 180 back.
Babe, no! Babe!
Are you going by competing?
No.
Do you like having us in the yard with you?
No. These are so annoying.
Why did you let us build a shed then?
I don't know.
Who annoys you more, me or Dave?
You.
Okay, that didn't come across great on me. So yeah, hopefully you got to know Wayne a little better there. So we just pull up to Bob's here and we shall get the car unloaded and see what he's going to be at. So we've made it down to a muddy Motorsport 56 and Dave is already here.
Hello Josh.
Hello, Dave.
I travelled separately because I was doing some other stuff, but we're here, Motorsport 56. The mad scientist, Bob Stevens, is now going to take the Corvette. It should be here for the next couple of weeks. So it's going to get its full Link ECU system wired. It's going to get the full wiring loom for the car and a few other bits and bobs before it comes back to us. So this is the bit where it actually starts to get electronics and starts to be assembled again. So I'm actually pretty excited about it, and it's mad because this is the first time I've seen the car outside of our shed. And it looks pretty good, looks pretty clean. So let's get into Bob's and we'll have a chat with him about a plan, and hopefully we have a good solid sort of couple of weeks ahead of us where we can get this thing back to us with all the wiring done and all that stuff done. So let's get it out of the trailer and bring it to Bob. Right, so here, the car is in Motorsport 56. We've got Bob here, and Bob is looking at me going, here comes some work. We are basically talking about the next process on this, which is the wiring. So all of the original wiring is now gone from the car. The engine is back into the car, thanks to Wayne. And we've got to make a plan now of how we can wire as much as we can, because we haven't got all the drivetrain and all the parts. We're going to try and get ahead of things now by getting the wiring loom done. So Bob, what do you think is the best plan? Now, you obviously have engine parts and stuff and all this to do on this, so what's the next step for this?
The next step would probably make the engine loom and then make a fuse and relay box to put in the center. And once we get all the components for the steering wheel and everything, I can just wire everything into the chassis loom and just make the loom and just wire it. loads and loads of wiring.
So we're going to use a full link ECU system on this car, so there's plenty of sensors and all that kind of stuff that comes with that. So this is what I'm going to try and say for people watching home that know nothing about it. Not that I know nothing about it, I know everything about it, but people at home might not know, just asking for their sake. Why would you change from the standard loom down to a fully custom loom?
You're getting rid of everything that you don't use. Obviously with a standard car, there's loads of things that are on it that you're not going to use anymore, so you're just dumbing it down so that way it's easier to work on, you know, more reliable because everything is new. Making it more reliable and simple and easy to work on trackside.
And I know a lot of people are going to ask the question because it's sitting here of what we're doing with the engine. What I've done here is kind of said, Bob, what should I do with the engine? Because you've done a lot of V8s in your time. You're kind of the go-to guy in Ireland, especially when it comes to V8s. You like the LS3, it's a good little engine. What are we doing to this engine? Because we want to run 600 horsepower in this car, and this car runs about 420 standard. So what are we doing to it?
So the engine, we're going to change obviously the cam, because with an NA V8, that's the heart of the engine. That's what determines everything. So the cam we're going to put in it is maximized by comp to get as much horsepower as you can out of the standard piston to valve clearance. And then on top of that, we're going to be changing the springs, the retainers, the keepers, the trunnion upgrade, push rods, lifters, cam, timing chain, new oil pump, a pickup and Moroso oil pan, and what else did I order?
And a big intake. That's the only bit I look at. I know what that does. There's a big shiny intake. So this is what you're going to be putting back in the car, Bob. I presume.
Yeah. See, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrap that in brand new electrical tape, and then tell you that I did it.
Yeah. Like that is. There's a couple of kilos in that.
Yeah.
Like what is this?
Probably half of me in there.
Like they've plastic going around half of the stuff now. And
The thing that I find quite amazing is you could just go to like one switch, and Ryan was saying you would roughly know what every switch or connector is.
Yeah. You just over time. Actually, that's an engine sensor.
This looks like the thing I used to plug in my Sega Mega Drive with.
Yeah.
Remember those? Alright, so Bob's ready to get working on the car, but we couldn't leave without checking out all the other stuff that's in here because there's a lot of cool cars. So we've got a very nice A86 Corolla. Jimmy will be it's like a zoo. Jimmy will be our guide and he will say what all these cars are and what. So this is a Corolla.
Yeah.
Oh no, it has the things that I want.
Yeah, the ITBs, 20 valves, yeah.
I'm very tempted to do the ITBs and a link system on my Corolla because
it's all show and no go. That's basically what
I just want more noise. I just want more dramatics, and I think that's not going to ruin the setup of the car. So that's definitely inspiration. Really nice car, that actually.
Yeah, it is.
R34s, these are getting rare now.
It's actually a built engine in it.
Oh, she's a nice, clean setup.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think the customer is looking about 500 horsepower kind of thing, road car. I suppose.
Fancy in that manifold, and
Yeah.
bigger turbo, and all the Ori coil packs.
Yeah. Bob's.
If you've been watching this vlog from the start, you know I'm learning now. So here's Nigel Colfer's car, which is abandoned. I always find it funny that, you know, people talk about these videos, because Nigel now lives in Dubai, shout out to Nigel. You know, in Dubai they always have those places where they abandon cars and there's just dust all over them.
Yeah.
Nigel's brought a little bit of that home with him by leaving his car here just covered in dust all the time. Wasting away. Where are you, Nigel? Come back drifting. We got this, which is an unbelievable build.
Yeah.
This is obviously a dune buggy, not a drift car. No, it's a drift car, but this is kind of like as good as you can go. Again, this is another, just to show what the guys here at Motorsport 56 do. This is the kind of level, you know, like you'll do a lot of wiring jobs, a lot of bits of engine jobs stuff, but the real big builds are still something that the guys down here do. You want to see Jimmy mess a lot of people up? His Instagram there. Get on Jimmy's Instagram.
Just to be clear.
Just to be clear, it's Jimmy time.
No.
And then this, what's this?
This is Dylan Garvey's car.
So what's the plan for this? Is an RB going in this?
This is, he's going to be changing to an RB now.
When do you guys see the engine set up on this?
Yeah.
Boom!
Nothing.
No, 2 pipes. Well, they're much easier and cheaper to run like this.
Yeah, coming soon.
Yeah, so we got a GT86 chassis here in the background. You guys can see all the work they're doing. But Jimmy, we'd love to stay and chat.
Yeah.
We got very interesting places to be. So let's hop back in the van, go to our next stop where we're doing something that's going to be a one-off for our cars that's never been done before. Stay tuned. So we're here up in the mountains and we are with 6 Elements. So Matty from 6 Elements reached out to us and said, is there anything you need to do on the car that's a bit custom, that's a bit different, because he can do everything in carbon fibre. He's been doing it for his friends for a long time. He's kind of started up his own little business, and we love supporting people starting up. It's a big part of it. You saw Jordan with the helmets, that kind of stuff. We want to kind of keep as many different Irish companies on board as we can. So we were talking to him over the last couple of weeks. We kind of said what we needed, and the Corvette needs the roof done, the rear boot lid, and we still have the glass in it, and now we have the dash, which you saw the guys Mike and Ryan putting together. So what we're going to do is throw it into Matty, see what he's all about, have a little talk through the process of what he's going to do to them, and show you guys that you can actually make anything out of carbon fibre and how it's done. So let's grab this heavy stuff. Wayne will grab the heaviest stuff.
I was gonna say, you're not gonna go for the boot lid then.
I want the dash very heavy, Wayne.
Very heavy.
Jesus. Hold on. Oh, Jesus, Wayne, you're looking at the boot lid. Jesus. I didn't want to put Wayne's back out there.
No, we didn't trust you with the glass.
Oh, it's very heavy. Come on, Wayne. Jesus. Sorry, Mike. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Maddie. How are you?
I'm your myself.
And this was made sort of by Mike, so it's functional. It's probably the right word. So you reached out to us, and you've been doing this for how long now?
Just under a year.
So unreal. So this is like a startup. This is a new venture for you. So what got you into doing carbon fiber? Why carbon fiber? Why did you decide one day I'm going to just make carbon fiber?
I've been in college for a few years, and instead of studying what I was studying, I was in the back just going through my phone looking at how to make carbon parts. And after 3 years of studying, I decided to just spend all my savings and just go at it, see how I get on. And yeah, been making parts for the past year, and people started to like them, so I decided to give you a call and see if we can do something with the Corvette.
See, we obviously have, well, we're not going to give away all of Josh's secrets of what his car is going to look like. Josh wants to give them away later. But there's a lot of carbon fiber going on, especially the Corvette. The whole body is carbon. Now, we wanted to use the original roof, which is here. And we could have put a carbon roof in. We wanted to use the original roof. One, for a bit of strength. Two, because we have adapted it for the cage. So this roof, because it's blue, we wanted to put a skin of carbon on this. So that was kind of your suggestion on that one, just to kind of put a skin on it. But the dashboard, this is a completely custom thing that's never been done before. So this is the dashboard from the Corvette, in case you don't know.
Yeah, I can.
Classic Americans. So I think that what we're looking for on this is, because it's a dashboard, it's not really a structural part of the car, so it can be quite nice looking. For this, however, this is I didn't even know if it was possible to do this in carbon, because it's a huge piece. Would this be the biggest one you've ever tried, biggest part, or would it be kind of similar to a bonnet?
Well, that's
I was saying, what you stood next to the head, Dave, is pretty big.
that's a mold for a headliner.
There's a headliner doing carbon.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
and that's a floor instead of a carpet in it for the same Subaru.
Do you want the floor now, Dave?
Not doing the floor. Is this a difficult thing to do, or is it just the same process as doing a small part, or is it just the same? Because
Same process, just going to take a little bit longer because it's larger. You have to put
Yeah.
more material down. But I'm glad you're doing it with the window, because what I was thinking that we can, once the whole part is done, we can just cut the center section out, have your radiators or whatever you're going to have in there. And then when you're looking at it from the side, that's all going to be carbon, so you're still retaining the shape from the side of the car.
now we have the option. It looks good from the side, it's all carbon, and then on the back we can go, do we want to go with a couple of small vents, do we want to go with a big vent? We'll just go wild on it, but like my attitude is that at least we have the option now. So I'm looking forward to seeing the process. Maddie, thank you for reaching out. We are going to leave it there for the minute because we're going back to the yard, but I'm really super pumped on seeing how these come out, because I don't know, everyone loves carbon. I'm sure you guys love carbon. Let's know, do you love carbon? Would you go carbon, Kevlar, carbon? Have an argument. Who cares? Let's Maddie get to work, and we'll just head back down the road. We've got a few more bits to do.
Here at Drift Games, we absolutely love online drifting. But more importantly, for you guys watching at home, we want to get you in the game as well. So we've partnered up with digitalmotorsports.com, Ireland's first online sim store, who are experts in everything when it comes to online drifting. And they're going to give you guys a full free sim rig at the end of this series. Now I know you want to know, how do you win? But it's quite simple. Every single episode of Games Changers, we're going to release a letter. It looks a bit like this. And that letter will form a sentence. And at the end of the series, the first person who can put that full sentence together correctly wins a full simulator. Now that's not bad going.
Hello, Ryan. So we're back in the garage. We call it the garage now because I have an American drift car now. So Ryan, you've been working on the old Cageroo.
I was going to say, it's the first time we've actually been out the garage, so he's probably got some decent work done. And I would say, it does look all finished up now.
This looks like a cage, Josh. Oh, look at the fancy gussets down here.
Well, this is all so Ryan didn't like the door bars, as I said before, so he keeps on trying to add things to the door bars to make him like them more. And do you like them more now?
They're growing on me.
They grow in it.
They're actually very nice.
And it's the same as yours, but mine aren't screwed on like yours.
Oh, I can weld to my chassis. Who do you think you are? Where's the aluminum to put your trunk in your hood?
Your magnesium for your roof.
On my magnesium roof. You don't have a magnesium roof. Roof's made out of paper mache.
Now what I do have is...
Oh, I didn't see that. That's fancy now.
These are the hatches from Darren, and that's going to go in there, and that's how the roof's going to attach.
You mean latches, not hatches, right?
Latches, hatches, quick latch.
Yeah.
Is it?
You said hatch.
Did I say hatch?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can't get rid of that.
So you're gonna have the roof attached. That's very clever.
Yeah. It's going to be a fancy popper.
You're gonna have the ejecto roofo, cause on ball lake level 1 to 10, Ryan, how much is this one?
Like a 7.
7.
There's no roof.
You get used to not being able to do it, so when it's right there in front of you, you have to really concentrate and make sure your welds are good.
I think
How
that's
much
Most
is
of
the
the time you
Corvette
can't
on a
see
ball
it.
lake level 1 to 10?
Oh, that was a 10. that joke.
I'm happy I'm winning this.
Never had,
Ryan's not, but technically my car is winning in scores.
It's not a good thing to win on.
I've never had to go around the car with a magnet to find out what I could and couldn't weld to.
Look at the list.
I was going to say the list is a lot longer than what we first thought, I think.
Really? But it's nice that you have lists, and I like that you made the list, not Josh, because it's spelled correctly and everyone can understand it from the planet.
I'm surprised I spelled correctly now, to be honest.
It's not bad. I came in and said, someone has done this and it's not Josh. Because if it was Josh, it would be just jacking point thingy. It would be like side impact bars, and he would go, you know, like...
The butterfly bit.
They put the bars in.
Yeah, you know the bit, like over the bit. So that's great. Awesome job, Ryan. Really, really good. I like the whole structure of all of the cars. Just looks like it's well thought out. It's probably a complicated cage. Some of it's aesthetic, but then that's part of it, right? Is that you want a nice looking race car. I know a lot of people would say, why bother doing all this stuff? It's not necessary. It's not in the rules, but it does make it look so much nicer. My car is now on the next stage of the project, so it's painted and going for wiring and all the other bits and pieces. This is now following suit, so we're trying to get the back end done next, right? And then all of the misery starts at the front end with the engine that doesn't fit in the car and the sumps and the steering racks and the bulkheads and the misery and the gearbox tunnel. We also now are going to move on to some other special stuff. Because the Corvette is gone, you're probably thinking, the Corvette's gone. The boys aren't going to do much on the Corvette for a little while because it's getting wired, but there is a lot of stuff happening because we haven't really announced it yet, but we have got a backup car, which is my 900 horsepower Ford Mustang. Now a lot of people would have remembered we put that into the Mondello Park Museum and it was kind of on hibernation, but the reason it's coming back is because that car is actually going into competition as well, but it wasn't good enough to go into competition as it was, so we're changing the suspension, the angle kit, tons of stuff on that car, and that's going to roll in here in the next couple of days. So we're going to be working on the Mustang, getting that a brand new look. It's going to look mental. We're doing a lot of cool aesthetic changes on it to make it look a lot meaner than it did, even though it looked quite mean. And we're also working on the MX-5. We also have got a full setup of suspension. We're not going to get into it. It was pretty fancy for Mike's 350Z. We're also going to be doing stuff with the Corolla. We're going to be doing stuff with the Soar. We got lots going on the next couple of weeks. So Ryan's going to be busy. We're going to be busy, and there's lots of variety in the content coming for you guys. So if you're enjoying what you're seeing, if you're looking forward to the many cars we're going to be doing over the next couple of episodes of Games Changers, let us know in the comments which you're most excited about. The MX-5, the Corvette's kind of gone away. We're going to be kind of looking at wiring that. The Mustang, the Soar, the Corolla, the 350. Which are you most excited about? Let us know.
You missed the Golf.
The Golf fan. Ryan is doing a full straight pipe system. No, he's not. We're going to put a Pandem kit, a full kit. No, we're not. It's a van. It's a Golf fan. Relax. I know you guys love it, but that's like, we're not ready to take on projects like that right now. We're easing ourselves in with the 2 drift cars, then the Golf van, maybe. If we have the... Ryan gets enough experience practicing on these cars, maybe the Golf van might be his next. But I'm not letting an amateur like Ryan get at the Golf van, you know. Anyway, waffling on enough. You guys have enjoyed the episode. We've enjoyed making it. Thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed. Thank you to everyone who's supporting us with the comments. We're trying to get back to as many as we can. Make sure you grab some of the Drift Games merch from the shop as well. Got a brand new stock update in the new year and looks pretty cool.
There you go.
Yeah, check that out on the shop. So we'll see you on the next episode. Make sure you subscribe, guys, because about 50% of you don't subscribe. It really means a lot to us that we're able to notify you every time an episode goes up. We'll see you on the next episode of Games Changers for more madness from the garage, where we're probably going mad.